Want to see something cool?
Dude, what the fuck is wrong with you? I play my music too loud and you throw a fucking explosive at me? Just ask me to turn it down, you lunatic.
Hey. Hi. Hello. What's up? So, Donkey Kong Country's pretty good, right? Like no Scooby-Doo ass computer viruses are gonna come out of my modem, throw a bag over my head, and sacrifice me to the volcano when I make the very true statement that Funky Kong is actually better than God, right? Like I'm pretty safe from that. What we have here is a solid and well-aged trilogy of platformers that push the already beastly Super Nintendo to its barely existent limits. I really like the Super Nintendo. Let's cloud it with my face, but even the bad one is good. I don't know how they did that, and I don't even know what sense that makes, but you agree with me is the fucked up part. This trilogy is not only a flawlessly put together series of platforming gems that excel in gameplay, presentation, creative level design, and sheer mastery of their craft, but it's also the first game series that I ever learned how to play. This has been your warning. There will be bias. Originally, I had planned on making a giant feature film review where I cover all 3 games in one well-endowed video, but I believe it is Shakespeare that said, "Brevity is the soul of wit." He also said that your smallest dick's YouTube channel can't afford another 3-fucking-month hiatus while you fight to regain what little sanity is left in you.
That guy is dead.
And I'm not taking down the tweet or acknowledging that my tweet violated the Twitter rules.
Okay.
Up yours, woke moralist.
Okay,
We'll
thank you.
see who
All right,
cancels
that's
who.
awesome. So in an effort to abridge my unfiltered gush about this series I love, I have decided to narrow down the subject of today's video to the game that I feel best encompasses the spirit of this amazing series. And we all know what that one is, so let's not even bother. It may be seen as cliche when I say that Donkey Kong Country 2 is my favorite in the series, but you know what else is cliche? Penicillin. Sometimes shit's cliche for a reason is what I'm getting at. Donkey Kong Country 2 is a shining example of everything this series excels at and sits somewhere comfortably on my personal top 5 favorite games list, along with Persona 5 Royal, Mega Man X, and like 40 other games. The story of the original Donkey Kong Country, What Little There Was a notable contrast from the typical narrative of 90s gaming. Whereas you had your Marios and your Zeldas, where the goal was to go through 8 worlds and collect 3 things to unlock the ability to collect 8 more things and save the life of an actual, tangible human being to prevent the literal collapse of society, Donkey Kong was a simple man who was a gorilla. Motherfucker stole his stash, let's get it back. That's simple. And since it's time for the sequel, you'd think it was also time to begin the process of cutting and pasting. But that was not the case for this conquest. Instead of just taking DK's bananas again, the Kremlings descend from their JRPG Chrono Tales of Fantasy Hearts 30-ass airship and kidnap the man himself after rebranding their entire army as pirates. Pirates who fuck! Devoid of a protagonist, this game sees the previous installment's player 2 Diddy Kong traversing to Crocodile Isle to save Donkey Kong with the help from Bay. You didn't do this back then. The sidekick would, at best, get a role in the character select and maybe years later a spin-off game that might see some semblance of success. But our boy Diddy Kong here lays claim to the entire ass sequel. Like, this is a continuation of the previous game's events. From here, you and Diddy's monkey helicopter monstrosity of a girlfriend go on a comparatively darker pirate-themed adventure through 6 distinct worlds to save your junkie uncle from the newly christened Captain K. Rool and discover the island's many secrets along the way.
Oh boy, I'm so excited.
Then why did I use up my best material on this shit?
Okay, so it goes without saying, but this game is stupid gorgeous. The innovative wizards at Rare use the full power of those sexy silicon graphics computers to fit an entire Pixar into this cartridge. I don't even know how they did that. There are people in that building. Where do they go? I'm a simple video editor who is also an ageless eldritch abomination who lives in a black void using the vessel of multiple cute anime girls to communicate, and I'm unfamiliar with the artistic process. But from what I understand, these beautiful British bastards created 3D models in a computer and then turned them into 2D models that are also 3D models I don't know how they did that. It's 2022, and in the age of our inevitable extinction, this game still looks gorgeous. How's that for some fucking perspective? You won't see Mario's stone face here. Each character model, be them from the Kongs, Animal Buddies, or each individual enemy, conveys a world of personality. From just their subtle expressions and movements to things some people don't even think about, like the character idle animations, Dixie eating honey if you don't move in the beehive levels. I think my water bottle's giving birth, and I have no idea how to react to that. The way both Kongs move their arms up when riding a roller coaster, or how if you pause the game at the exact right time, it reveals that Diddy has seen some shit.
I watched them all die.
The game has the animation of a full Saturday morning cartoon on the budget of a Super Nintendo game, which is weird because when they had the budget of an actual Saturday morning cartoon, they still fucked it up. What was I talking about? The characters not only look amazing, but are occupants of a beautifully detailed game world. The world map doesn't simply function as a glorified level list, but has a meticulous attention to detail and art direction that make Crocodile Isle feel lived in. The place is dirty and grimy and gross, and I want to go the fuck home, and little details like wood not fitting entirely or all the wreckage on the various ships you visit make it just that much more authentic. Also, I forgot to put a V in front of various. I don't know how I do things. We're not just dealing with Shapes the Planet anymore. We get an entire detailed theme park contrasted against a beautifully pitch black night sky, a gorgeous green lake that stretches back for miles, an overwhelming world of thorns. We get Crocodile Isle. I'd like to close this section by saying this. I feel like I'm throwing a lot of shade at Super Mario World, and look, that game is great. Fantastic even. Still holds up to this day. It didn't need all this fancy polish to be great. Neither does Donkey Kong Country. But that doesn't make the superb art direction this game accomplished any less impressive. Just like how nothing can take away from everything the gaming industry owes to Super Mario World. My point is not to lift up one piece of art by tearing down another. The review space has entirely too much of that, if I'm being honest. My point is, video games can be awesome for many different reasons, and we don't have to turn into a Watch Mojo ranking machine to express that. Are we square? Okay, good. Now that my tangent is over, let's talk about the actual game. The most important part of a platforming game is being able to play it for more than 6 seconds without wanting to assassinate every orphan and burn the entire world down at once, and I'm gonna say that Donkey Kong Country II not only exceeds at this, it might do it too well. There will very seldom be a moment when the game hands you an unfair challenge leading to a bullshit death, thanks in no small part to a very tight control scheme. If you've played a platformer of this area, you know how to play this game. Hold down Y to run, B to jump, A to flee the country because your friend who only plays modern shooter games never holds down the fucking run button and you just couldn't stop yourself this time. Something that sets this game apart from its peers is having your health bar personified as a monkey. Who else can say that, honestly? Each Kong acts as a hit point, and receiving any kind of damage will cause your front Kong to run off, leaving you vulnerable to death should you get hit again. There is little more satisfying than going through an entire gauntlet of hatred and death and bees and hatred only to come out of it hearing the beautiful sound of a suffocating child in a barrel. The challenge and learning curve of this game can only be described as flawless. I mean, there's one tiny hiccup. It's barely worth mentioning, but I mean, if you really want me to nitpick, Dixie's hair breaks the entire game wide open. Yeah, last month I reviewed a stealth game where you could see through walls, and today I cover a platforming jumping game where you can fly! Just what is game design? What is art? I appreciate that they wanted to give this game a very specific innovation and keep both characters' abilities unique to them, but this... It's too much, right? Now granted, it's strange that Diddy over here can cartwheel off a cliff and bounce off the very air molecules to propel himself upwards away from danger, but that requires like timing and player input and consciousness. Dixie, on the other hand, can just bypass entire platforming sections with the holding of one button. To be fair though, there is a limit to how much distance she can cover depending on the altitude of your jump. So there are rules, and you have to time when to use her propeller hair, but this just feels wrong.
We have flown too close to God tonight.
DKC2 is more than a pretty face and a soft booty. I wanna fuck this game. It's weird, and it's not okay. I already mentioned how much I love the art direction of the world map, but it's also bursting at its seams with content. The main goal, of course, is to go from level to level, but there also exist many areas to stop between stages to buy hints, which you will never need, one-ups, which you will not run out of, and saves, which... Okay, I can't blame them for not being fucking clairvoyant. Yeah, this stuff was neat at the time and made the world feel full, but with the inception of Google, it's a touch old hat. Who cares though, because this game has levels! Oh yeah, the currency system is kind of whack because, like, you have to pay to save your game with in-game coins, and like when you turn the game off, you lose all your coins, and for for like no other reason other than batting. It's not really a challenge, it's just time consuming. Whoa! No one should ever yell that word. Platforming challenges are varied, but never overwhelming and always fair. The level design works flawlessly with the momentum of your jumps and the placement of enemies. The game always knows the exact pixel you're trying to land on. You'll never slip and die horribly unless it's your fault. This is basic platforming, I know, but there are two large elements that just make DKC2 for me. Like I mentioned, Rare knows how to design and place enemies. Each assailant's style of attack is used in increasingly fresh ways. It keeps players from ever becoming complacent when even basic mooks are used effectively. Ask anyone who knows me, I fucking hate unkillable enemies. Literally, I just yell that unprompted and I am not allowed back in the children's hospital. But even the unkillable by normal means zingers are always used in a fair context. In a case of damn fine sequeling, the iconic barrel blasting has seen a major upgrade as well. No longer relying on just spinning it faster than the human brain can possibly be fucking expected to follow, but with a new variety of barrel types that really play with the ways Rare can design mid-air obstacle courses. Some may call it a blast. But that's stupid and they should be ashamed. There are seldom moments when I just wish a level would end. In fact, when I was a kid, seeing the goalpost took me by surprise because all of these elements at play flowed together so perfectly to make just a great set of levels that used established mechanics in new ways until the end game, never devolving into gimmicks. That's not to say the game is devoid of duds. Climbing on honey-covered walls is a neat way for the game to dabble in using upward momentum to design the stages, but the control when going from wall to wall has just the wrong amount of jank, leading to some of the few cheap deaths in the game. Red Hot Ride slows the pacing of the otherwise exceptional lava world to a crawl and is a monotonous waste of a rhino. I know I praised the game's barrel blasting, but it doesn't work in a maze setting, especially when you won't show me the entire maze. See, this mechanic works best on a moment-to-moment basis where it's more about timing than memorization. Take that out and it's just trial and error. Look, I love the music as much as you do, but half this level sucks. What the hell is this? This is not level design. It's climate change, and it's not fun. It's fucking killing us. One last gripe, and I know it's petty, but while no worlds in this game are outwardly bad, they tend not to be able to stick to their presented themes from time to time. I praise the look of Crazy Kremlin's map, but the set of levels just baffles me. You think, oh dope, it's a theme park, and there's probably gonna be plenty of levels based around carnival attractions, but you set one foot in the first level and it is a giant beehive. Yet 2 of the 6 levels are actually follow the theme and are based around a theme park. You enter the final world, K. Rool's castle, to find a stupidly peaceful ice level. Does that really scream endgame to you? Does anyone care? I don't know, let's just talk about animals. The cast of animal companions in this game are just the perfect way to do power-ups. Each one twists the formula of how levels are designed. They all have unique abilities that the devs at Scarce Merchandise really had fun playing with. The buds do more than just finally let you kill those fuck-ass zingers without any input from the player, but actually change the way levels are designed. Want a stage where platforms are higher and farther apart? Bam! Let's have Rattly's extremely well-controlled and precise long jump. Shall we have a stage where you make your own platformers and decide how to overcome a very large gap? Say hello to Spider Friend. He is friend of Spider, and you, Spider-Man friend.
The gift of free will is a curse. I do not seek the forgiveness of a merciful God, for I have none for myself. Long have I awaited the reprieve of death to rid me of this guilt that plagues me with each breath I steal. Lola 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 lola.
I hate water levels. Here is Unguard. I no longer hate water levels. Squawks can fly and kill. What else do I need to say? Like, you're seeing this, right? It's as fun as it looks. Play the game. Oh my god, just fucking buy it. Just play the fucking game. All of these additional abilities let the game expand what it can do with enemy placement and platforming without even coming close to disorienting players. Finally, we come to the boss fights, and while none of them particularly blow me away with their game-changing originality, they are a marked improvement from the preceding game's decision to just make all of them just a bigger version of a previously established small. Each boss has interesting designs and enjoyable to learn attack patterns that keep the fight interesting until the end. All of this surface level content on its own would make the game for me, but Donkey Kong Country 2 was not satisfied with mere perfection. The last thing I'll cover in today's video, and what cements this game as my definitive Donkey Kong experience, are all the secrets hidden in the remote crevices of Crocodile Isle. I am so fucking tired of saying that word. Every level in this masterpiece contains a set amount of secrets, namely the DK coins and the game-changing bonus barrels. When you find a bonus barrel, you'll be taken to a secret mini-level, the completion of which will yield one of 75 elusive Creme coins. Bonus levels will vary from simply completing an obstacle course, to collecting a certain amount of stars, to literally destroying them all. Despite only having 3 types of bonus rooms, they really got all they could out of this premise. Each one has different ways that they're laid out and always feel fresh and, well, different. But honestly, what I find most impressive about them is just the way you even find the things. Some of them are just in plain sight, no problem at all. But others make you really search every foreign pixel for subtle clues to their location. Once you find a set amount of Creme coins, Shrek here will give you access to the Lost World, a set of hidden levels that are well worth your time to unlock them. Being in no small way the hardest levels in the game, but in new and fresh ways that aren't reflected in the base world. How many times have I said fresh in this fucking review? I want to conclude here because while I love every aspect of this game, the metric bigness of the game world is really what makes Donkey Kong Country 2 my unambiguous favorite. I find things like an actual tangible reward much more appealing than showing off my Platinum Big PP award. Not that there's anything wrong with modern gaming. Play for whatever reason you want. You're a beautiful person and I love you. With all the Super Nintendo rareware magic present in this game, from the pixel-perfect platforming, charming characters, and fully realized world, all that's really left to say is... Donkey of the Kong clan is a tyrant! Hoarding the feed of the land in a giant monument to his own ego, and forcing the starving and desperate Kremlings into becoming common thieves, even pirates, just to see the end of the next day. The wrath of this monarch shows no end, forcing mere children to hunt and kill the poor and crippled remnants of the Kremling race in a heartless act of mass extinction. The tragedy of poor Diddy Kong shall be echoed as one of the great cautionary tales of when one man holds all the power. Like and subscribe. Patreon. I have a Ko-fi now.
Somebody